Psalm 51 shows us a man at the absolute end of his own strength. He had lost his peace and his direction, crying out with the most raw honesty a human being can muster. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Perhaps you know exactly how he felt. You woke up today, and while everything on the outside seems perfectly in place, on the inside, there is an exhaustion that sleep just doesn't fix. It is an invisible weight. You have been carrying too much, haven't you? Silent hurts you pretend have healed, quiet disappointments, and maybe a lonely sadness you don't know how to explain to anyone. You have learned how to function while running on empty. You know how to smile, how to take care of everyone else, and how to say, "I'm fine," when people ask. But God sees what no one else notices. He sees the exhausting effort it takes just to hold it all together. He sees how your heart has become bruised or simply tired from fighting alone in the quiet moments. He didn't bring you to this moment to demand perfection. He isn't asking you to pull yourself up by your bootstraps or be strong for one more day. He is offering a gentle invitation to begin again, to wash away the quiet burdens. Stay with me for these next few minutes. Settle your heart, because I truly believe this is the exact answer to that silent ache you have kept hidden. Let's talk about what happens when life simply wears us down. We spend so much of our energy managing the outside world. We manage our jobs, our families, our finances, and our public faces. But Proverbs 4:23 gives us a deeply profound instruction. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Notice that it doesn't say, guard your schedule or guard your reputation. It says to guard your heart. Why? Because life has a way of leaving a residue on us, doesn't it? It is like walking down a long, dusty road. You don't have to fall down in the mud to get dirty. Just by walking, just by moving forward day after day, the dust naturally settles on your clothes. The exact same thing happens to our souls. You don't have to do something terribly wrong to end up with a heavy heart. Just by living, by facing daily frustrations, absorbing the unkind words of others, surviving sudden losses, and carrying the quiet anxiety of tomorrow, the dust settles. Slowly, without us even realizing it, that emotional dust turns into a crust, a layer of numbness, a protective wall. We start to feel distant. We start to feel a little more cynical. Maybe you've noticed this in yourself lately. A quickness to frustration. A lack of joy in things that used to make you smile. You react out of exhaustion, not because you have lost your way, but because your inner well has run dry. Your heart is simply overwhelmed by the accumulation of life. God deeply understands this human wear and tear. He doesn't judge you for being tired. In Ezekiel 36:26, he makes one of the most comforting promises in all of Scripture. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. A new heart, a new spirit. That is the transformation this exhaustion has been pointing you toward. And Jesus left the exact practical roadmap for how that transformation happens in your real life, in your finances, your relationships, your health, your daily peace, hidden inside his parables. In a layer most people never reach despite reading them for years. That roadmap is in the first pinned comment right below this video. There is an exclusive bonus waiting for you there. Scroll down and click the link right now. The clean start this morning is asking for is there. A heart of stone isn't necessarily a wicked heart. Sometimes a heart of stone is just a human heart that has been hurt too many times. It is a heart that subconsciously decided it is much safer not to feel anything at all. It is a defensive heart, a surviving heart. But God is saying right now, let me soften that for you. Let me remove the hardness you built just to survive. He wants to wash away the residue of the past weeks, months, or even years. He wants to give you back your capacity to breathe deeply and feel hope again, without the heavy armor you have been wearing for so long. Sometimes the reason we carry so much heaviness is that we are simply afraid to look too closely at our own hearts. We know it is a bit messy in there. We know there are resentments we haven't fully let go of, fears we constantly try to ignore, and perhaps even choices or mistakes that leave us with a quiet sense of shame. We live in a world that constantly tells us to fix ourselves, to try harder, to do better, to present a polished version of our lives to everyone around us. And often, without realizing it, we project that exact same expectation onto God. We think we need to clean up the house before we invite Him in. We catch ourselves thinking, I can't pray right now, my mind is a mess. Or, I can't talk to God today, I've failed again. But that is not how a relationship with a loving Father works. In Psalm 139, David prays a deeply vulnerable and courageous prayer. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me and lead me in the way everlasting. Notice what David is doing here. He is not standing before God saying, Look at me, Lord, my heart is completely pure. No. He is opening the door to the most cluttered, complicated rooms of his soul and saying, Lord, come in. Look at my anxiety. Look at my flaws. I don't even know how to sort this out, so I need you to search it and lead me. God is never intimidated by your mess. He is not surprised by your doubts, by your silent anger over that situation that didn't work out, or by your struggle to forgive the person who hurt you. He already knows it all. He just wants you to stop carrying the burden of hiding it from Him. When the scriptures tell us in Lamentations 3:22-23 that His compassions never fail and that they are new every morning, it is a literal promise for today. For this exact moment, yesterday's exhaustion or yesterday's mistakes do not disqualify you from today's grace. You don't need a perfect track record to approach Him. You only need an open, honest spirit. If you are feeling unworthy today, or if you feel like you have simply drifted too far, let me gently remind you, God's absolute specialty is taking what is worn out and making it beautifully new. You do not have to clean yourself up to come to Him. You come to Him exactly as you are, and His presence does the cleaning. You can take a deep breath right now, wherever you are, and just whisper, "Lord, my heart is heavy, and it is a bit disorganized right now. But it is yours. Come in and do what I cannot do." He hears that. He honors that quiet surrender. There is a very specific kind of exhaustion that comes from fighting battles no one else can see. Sometimes the heaviest weight we carry isn't a physical burden, but an emotional and spiritual one. It is the deep anxiety over a situation you simply cannot control. It is the grief over a loss you haven't fully processed. It is that silent, invisible opposition you face in your daily life, feeling like everything is just a little harder than it should be, as if you are constantly walking against a heavy wind. When you live in that state of constant tension, your heart naturally goes into survival mode. You stop dreaming. You stop resting. You just focus on making it through the next 24 hours without falling apart. But surviving is not the same as living, and Jesus knows the exact toll this takes on your spirit. In Matthew 11:28, He doesn't offer a complex strategy or a new set of rules to follow, so He offers Himself. He says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Notice who He is calling. He isn't calling the strong, the victorious, or the ones who have everything perfectly organized. He is specifically calling the weary. He is calling the burdened. He is calling the person who feels like they simply cannot take one more step in their own strength. We often think that having a clean heart before God is only about confessing our sins and mistakes. But it goes deeper than that. Purifying your heart also means clearing out the burdens you were never meant to carry. It means washing away the heavy illusion that you have to control every outcome and fix every problem around you. In Psalm 51:12, right after asking for a clean heart, David prays, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me." He had lost his joy. The heavy weight of his circumstances and his own inner turmoil had drained the life right out of him. He wasn't just asking for forgiveness. He was begging for his spiritual vitality to return. The restoration of joy, the return of spiritual vitality, that is not just an emotional experience. It is a practical shift that changes how you handle your finances, your relationships, your health, your daily decisions. Jesus encoded the exact mechanism of that shift inside His parables. The people who found those hidden truths didn't just feel better. Their lives changed in concrete, visible ways. If you haven't clicked the first pinned comment yet, that exclusive bonus is still there. Scroll down, click the link. What is waiting there is how the clean heart becomes a transformed life. Perhaps that is exactly what you need today. Not just a clean slate, but a true restoration of joy. The gentle return of a peace that allows you to close your eyes at night and truly rest, knowing you are safe. You do not have to fight the wind today. You just have to let him be your shelter. Let his presence wash over the racing thoughts and allow his profound stillness to quiet your anxious heart. Let's talk about another silent weight that makes the heart heavy. It is perhaps the most difficult one to carry, and certainly the hardest one to lay down. The pain caused by other people. When we talk about asking God for a clean heart, we cannot ignore the deep cuts left by betrayal, abandonment, or the harshness of those we once trusted. Sometimes the heavy residue on our hearts isn't from our own mistakes at all. It comes from the heavy shoes of people who walked carelessly through our lives. If you are carrying that kind of pain today, please know that your hurt is entirely valid. God saw the tears you cried when no one else was looking. He knows how unfair it was. But there is a profound difference between acknowledging your wound and allowing bitterness to build a permanent home inside you. In Ephesians 4:31, Paul writes these deeply challenging but incredibly freeing words. Get rid of all bitterness, rage and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. He follows it immediately with the antidote in the next verse. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Why does God ask us to release bitterness? It is never to minimize your trauma. He does not ask you to forgive in order to pretend that what happened was right or fair. He asks you to let it go because he knows exactly what resentment does to the human soul. Think of your heart as a garden again. Bitterness is like a thick, invasive weed. If you leave it alone, it quietly wraps itself around the roots of your joy. It slowly chokes out your peace. You simply cannot grow the beautiful, life-giving fruit of the Spirit while secretly watering the dark roots of unforgiveness. Maybe there is a specific name, a face, or a memory that instantly comes to your mind right now. You have carried the defense of that memory for so long that the anger has become a familiar companion. But the truth is, holding on to that anger is only keeping you chained to the person who hurt you. It is keeping your heart in the past. Starting today with a clean heart means finally opening your hands. It means handing the injustice over to God, trusting that He is a perfectly righteous judge. You don't have to find the strength to forgive on your own. You can just quietly say, Lord, this hurt is too deep for me. I cannot change what happened, but I refuse to let it contaminate my future. Please wash this resentment out of me. That quiet, honest surrender is the exact moment the heavy chains begin to break. Sometimes, the hardest part about wanting a clean heart is the quiet, lingering belief that it is simply too late for you. You might look back at the years that have passed, at the accumulated weariness, and at all the times you promised yourself you would do things differently, only to find yourself back in the exact same emotional patterns. That cycle of trying and failing creates a very specific kind of spiritual fatigue. If we are completely honest, it makes you start to believe that your heart will always be a little heavy, a little guarded, a little broken. But God speaks directly to that quiet despair. In Isaiah 43:18-19, he gives us this powerful perspective. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. Notice the profound grace in that imagery. God isn't talking about tending to a perfect, well-watered, perfectly organized garden. He is specifically talking about the wilderness, the wasteland. He is talking about the dry, exhausted, seemingly barren places of your soul where you feel like nothing good could ever grow again. That is exactly where he does his most beautiful work. God does not look at your tired, cynical, or worn-out heart and see a lost cause. He sees the perfect place for a brand new stream of water. When we come to him asking for a clean heart, we are not asking him to erase our memories or pretend the pain didn't happen. We are asking him to step into the absolute reality of our internal wilderness and bring life back to it. We are asking him to wash away the heavy identity of defeat that we have worn for so long. You do not have to carry the failures of yesterday into the light of this new morning. God's grace is not a limited resource that you have somehow used up. It is a constant flowing river. All you have to do is be willing to stand by the water. You can quietly say, "Lord, I am tired of living in the wasteland of my own past. I am tired of dwelling on the former things. Please, let your new thing spring up in me today. Wash the dust off my soul and help me to see the way you are making for me." He is making a way for you right now, even if you cannot fully see the end of the road just yet. Just let him gently lead you forward, one step at a time. If you are still listening to my voice right now in the quietness of this moment, it tells me something profoundly beautiful about you. It tells me that despite the exhaustion, despite the silent battles and the invisible opposition you face every single day, there is a deep, resilient part of your soul that is still reaching out for light. You haven't given up. You are simply looking for a safe place to lay your burdens down. If you are here with me near the end of this video, I want to invite you to subscribe to our channel and follow us every day. We are building a quiet space here for people who need this exact kind of refuge. A place to pause, to breathe, and to remember that you do not have to carry the weight of the world on your own shoulders. Because I know exactly how heavy it gets. I know what it is like to sit in a crowded room and feel entirely alone with your thoughts. I know the silent ache of wanting a fresh start, but lacking the emotional energy to figure out how to make it happen. But that is the absolute beauty of asking God for a clean heart. You don't have to figure it out. Purification, in the biblical sense, is never about you working harder to scrub away your own flaws. It is not about self-improvement. It is about surrender. It is about bringing your tired, dusty, bruised heart to the only one who knows how to hold it with absolute care. When King David asked God to create a clean heart within him, the original language uses a specific word for create, the exact same word used in Genesis when God created the universe out of nothing. David wasn't asking for a quick emotional repair. He wasn't asking God to just sweep the floor of his soul. He was asking for a miraculous divine reset, a completely new foundation. And that is the exact same reset available to you right now in this very room, exactly as you are. You are so much closer to that peace than you realize. But there is one final, gentle truth you need to embrace before you step back out into the noise of your day. A final shift in your perspective that changes how you will carry yourself from this moment forward. The profound truth about starting today with a clean heart is that it doesn't mean all your external problems will magically vanish. The difficult people will still be out there. The complex situations will still need to be navigated. The daily demands of life will still be waiting for you the moment you step outside your door. But the way you walk through that door will be entirely different. When God purifies your heart, He doesn't just empty it of the heavy, painful things. He fills that newly created space with a quiet, unshakable resilience. This isn't a loud, dramatic transformation. It is a deeply silent one. You might not feel a sudden, overwhelming rush of emotion today. Instead, you will simply notice a gentle stillness taking root inside you. The anxious thoughts won't echo quite as loudly. The careless words of others won't cut as deeply. You will find yourself breathing just a little bit slower, standing just a little bit taller. You will finally experience the quiet relief of someone who has put down a heavy suitcase they have been carrying for miles. You are no longer dragging the exhaustion of yesterday into the delicate space of today. You have left it with Him. So, right now, wherever you are, just let your shoulders drop. Stop trying to hold everything together by sheer force of will. You are seen. You are deeply understood, and your life is not a collection of worn-out pieces. It is a canvas waiting for a gentle new morning. A clean heart isn't a perfect heart. It is simply a heart that has stopped hiding, stopped fighting alone, and finally allowed itself to be held by its Maker. Let that profound peace settle over you today. Walk into your day completely light. Before we part ways, if this conversation brought you comfort, I ask you to gently share this video with 5 people in your life. You never know who is secretly carrying a heavy burden and just needs someone to sit with them in the quiet. Please, leave a sincere comment below. I would love to know how your heart is doing today. And tell me, what silent battle should we talk about in our next video? May the peace of God cover your mind, guard your heart, and guide your steps today. I will be right here waiting for you next time.